Hi there, patrons. A freebie for you. I've republished one of my old books, and it's available for free for a limited time on Amazon Kindle. So you'll be able to download this book. I'll tell you a little bit about it. And hopefully, if you love it or you enjoy it, please put a nice star rating onto Amazon, because it helps others to appreciate that it's a decent book. So it used to be called, the original book was my book called The Psychic Case Book, which came out, when did I do this? 1998, I think, or something around that sort of period of time. Let me have a look. When was it published? 1999, yeah. So this was published back in 1999. So it's the early work of Jane and myself. I retitled it, renamed it. I did have it up there before, but I've renamed it as Psychic Encounters, which I think is a much more interesting title. Much more interesting picture on the front, because it's got me and Jane on the front. And it tells you a little bit about our work in the earlier period with our mediumship. So I think you might enjoy it. So like I said, I'll put a link below in the description here, and you can go directly to my website, to the book page, look down the book so you see the book, remember the picture, right, and Psychic Encounters, and then you can follow through on my website page, so either the UK site or the American site, or you can find the same thing on your own site too, but it'll be on the Kindle version. So what's it about? Well, I've retitled it as Psychic Encounters, Messages of Hope from the Spirit World, which I think is more appropriate. And the first part of the book talks about how we got started in the media. So it talks about our work on The Big Breakfast particularly, and some of the shows and some of the sort of the behind the scenes stuff that happened with all the celebrities. So that's quite interesting, I think. There's lots of case books, as it were, of people that have come to Jane and myself and had readings and things that happened, proofs we got of life after death. So, there's lots of really good, solid proof of life after death. Now, originally when the publisher wanted me to do this, but they wanted me to include lots of stories from ordinary people. So it also has stories in there from ordinary people, from basically taken from what was my work on the news columns. I used to have a number of newspaper columns in the Daily Mail and Scottish Daily Record and Woman's Own and Weekly News and Portsmouth News and Western Daily Press, or loads. So all these stories were coming in. So I've included some of the best ones in there too and commented on them. With a view of, what's really going on in these stories. So it's some pretty good stuff there for people, particularly if you're first interested in these type of things, never heard of it before. What is telepathy? There's a telepathy test and things like that put in there. Then what else did I put in there? So I put evil encounters, all different types of encounters, And I talked the stories of some of our work where we went onto this haunted boat and found the poltergeist and things like that. Some of these stories I picked up again later on in my other books, like Messages from the Universe, for example, had some of these stories retold in them. But I think you'll find the original quite interesting, and particularly it's kind of, you'll see my views from an earlier stage, when I was very much into spiritualism and things like that. There's also the story in there of Richard Parker, my grandfather's cousin, who was eaten by his shipmates, and that story was foretold 100 years before by Edgar Allan Poe. So it shows the connection between Edgar Allan Poe and our family. So there's a section, Heavenly Encounters, Past Life Encounters. There's another one which I taught where I interviewed a number of people about their beliefs about past lives and having met past life wife or lover before. And finally, the last chapter, which I think is the most interesting one of all actually, is the story of how Jane and I went to India to see Sathya Sai Baba. So this would have been back in 1999, and we saw him there, and I witnessed some miracles, and it talks about the inner things that happened to us there, and some of the things that people told me, and about why some people see one thing and some people see another, why some people see a fraud and some people see a miracle, and things like that. And so that's quite interesting too. Anyway, it's all for free. and you can just get it in the link below. But if you do get the book on Kindle, I would really be grateful if you put a good review up for me. It's always appreciated, and it'll tell you, and you know, because yeah, it'll help others and help me too, of course. You know, so here it is. There it is, Psychic Encounters, as seen on BBC, because we were on the BBC at one point. And there we go. And that's the picture of me and Jane recently, actually. But like I say, it's our earlier work. All right, thanks. And thanks for supporting the channel. See you soon. Bye.